defense.
Mm-hmm.
As a quarterback, you got to know everything about what is in front of you. I just think if you're going to compare importance on the field, I think the quarterback's your number one guy. But to me, the receiver you have to acknowledge there's greatness because of the throw he made.
Yeah.
Some of those throws don't get made by some guys.
Yeah.
You've been playing with a Hall of Fame guy. You're about to see what it's like to not play with a Hall of Fame guy. If you dominate,
that's true.
Then we can find out. Jerry Rice had Joe Montana.
And that's why he's not
he is the best receiver of all time.
Because he had the greatest,
he's the best receiver of all time. But okay, if that's the case, then you agree with me on my point about Antonio.
I do, but
I trapped you.
It's to a point because you would say that Ben Roethlisberger is not at the peak of his playing career right now. You can say that Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster and Le'Veon Bell kept being elevated. And now you get to a quarterback who's younger, who has more to prove, and who probably has a better arm. So now you have to trust his quarterback ability, yes.
Right.
But were you lifting that other guy up? You were definitely lifting Big Ben up because you're going to see the biggest tank of all time next year when he goes out there and they double team Juju and his world gets changed upside down. Oh, I'm not his best receiver as I thought it was.
That's true.
And then they put an extra guy in the box for James Carter. Oh, I'm not the best running back that I thought I was. And it's all Big Ben.
So
and he's going to look real trashy.
Well, that we don't know that though. So
how you going to say the Oakland is going to look trashy, but you can't say Big Ben's not going to be trashy?
Because first of all, we have data to support Oakland being trashy.
Not this year. They're different. They have different personnel.
They have a couple different players. I don't think they have enough on offense to be exponentially better. Does Antonio win them a couple games? You asked me that question.
Yeah,
kind of real quick.
New offensive line. They bought a guy from the.
He gets them 2 or 3 wins. He does. So what's that give him? 6. So here's my thing. I think that there's potential. If you want to just compare the Steelers and the Raiders and say, okay, now that all these guys are in different spots, who's going to still have a better season? I honestly think it's the Steelers.
How?
Because I still think the Steelers from a talent, I think that they still have a good offensive line. Connor's a good running back.
Yeah, he's all right.
I think he's really good. Juju is going to see the effects of not having Antonio on the field with him. But Ben is he's a Hall of Fame guy. And I think by him being such a high caliber guy, he is going to still make some plays. There's something to him being able to read the defense and be able to put the ball where it needs to be that a rookie quarterback or a younger quarterback would not make that throw because he didn't see it. So Ben's going to still win them a couple games. So I don't see, to me, Oakland's got to prove that. We know what Ben is. Now, did Antonio help him beat Ben? Absolutely. They helped each other. But for a guy like Antonio Brown to now act like anybody that says this guy is any good or he's a leader, is an enemy of yours, when this is the same guy that for the last, 7, 8 years has helped you become the number 1 receiver in all of football.
Rachel.
So that's just my take.
All right. That was the extendo on NFL while we got on all the technical gift.
Yeah, we're back. Somebody joined us. Thank you.
Top 5.
Whoever you are.
You got
we see you there. If you say hello to us, we can say hi back to you. But we do see that someone is watching. Top 5. All right. So my top 5 this week is
poke some holes.
My top 5 this week, keeping in line with the time of year. It is March, heading into April. We are in the Sweet 16. And so there have been a couple of videos that have popped up on social media this week involving some really great NCAA basketball moments. And we know we had craziness last weekend with things like VCU almost beating Duke. And some of those great moments have happened in the conference tournaments, and some of those great moments have happened in March Madness. My top 5 this week is the top 5 greatest March Madness moments. All right. Why you gotta come from my top 5 like that?
I thought you was gonna do something like
I mean,
Creative.
when was the last time you did a creative?
Last week was real creative, man.
Says the person that created the list.
Come on,
Why do you do this every week when
It's not creative.
It is creative. This is debatable. Some people might say, no, I've got something else on my list.
Give me a whole moment I got to remember. All right.
Well, you're probably not. A couple of these you're not going to remember because you aren't watching college basketball. Hey, well, that allows for me to have a peaceful week as far as my top 5 is concerned. I don't have to worry about you making little comments about it.
That's horrible. If that's the basis of your list, let me speak some old stuff so you can't comment on.
Hey, this show isn't about you all the time. Trey.
All right.
It's also about the
You're right. You're right.
All right.
You're right.
So my top 5.
We got some.
Yeah. just had a moment for no reason. My top 5 March Madness moments. All right. Now this is my list, my lifetime. I've seen some things. I've been watching college basketball as far as March Madness since junior high. So that was a little while back. So at number 5,
not giving years.
No, not giving out years. Damn, I look good. All right.
I look good.
At number 5, you might not remember this, but
I feel like you're gonna say that on the whole list.
No, I'm not. A couple of these you might know because you might say, "Oh yeah, I heard about that," or "I seen the highlight."
I see that on ESPN Classic.
Yeah. So at number 5, Bryce Drew, Valparaiso, buzzer beater, and I don't. You probably don't know this, but I got.
So, is there a crickets button?
Wow. All right. Bryce Drew hits the winner after a great play design, probably the most perfectly designed full court last second play in the history of the tournament, outside of another that's on my list. Okay. Valparaiso head coach Homer Drew, the father of Bryce Drew, mocked up a play for his son, who knocked down a 3-pointer. The shot gave the 13th seeded Valpo, known as Valpo at that time, Valparaiso, a win over the 4th seeded Ole Miss Rebels 70-69 in the opening round of the tournament. The Crusaders would make a memorable run to the Sweet 16 that year, and then they got knocked out. So at number 5 for me is the Bryce Drew buzzer beater. And you know what you guys should do? Go on YouTube tonight and watch a couple of these. You might like it. Number 4. This one happened recently, actually. So this one you might be able to have a comment about. Chris Jenkins of Villanova hits the 3-point shot to beat North Carolina in the national championship game back in 2016. Chris Jenkins is trailing behind the point guard as he comes up the floor. Marcus Page from North Carolina had just made an off-balance double pump 3 to tie the game. And then point guard comes down the floor. Jenkins is trailing behind, gets the pass, shoots a 45-foot shot that goes in, and the Villanova Wildcats win the national championship 2016. That's my number 4.
I remember that.
Okay. See? You remember. This one you might have heard. This one you might have heard of. I can guarantee you probably didn't see it. But you're a sports guy, so you should know about this one. UCLA. You know about this? UCLA beats Missouri on the way to the national title in 1995. Do you remember? Do you know what big play propelled them or hurled them on to the national championship?
A half-court shot?
Nope, not a half-court shot. Do you remember the name Tyus Edney?
No.
Okay. Tyus Edney stuns Missouri on the way to the title game 1995. Tyus Edney, 4.8 seconds left. Tyus Edney takes the inbounds pass and goes the length of the court in 4.8 seconds, makes a layup off the glass, and wins the game for the UCLA Bruins, who go on to win the national championship. At that time, they were the higher-ranked seed. They were the number 1 seed at that time. They were about to lose, and he hit that shot and propelled them.
What year was that?
This is 1995. Oh, I don't appreciate your lack of energy.
Well, you said I didn't have nothing to say. You're right. There's nothing I can say.
Good. It's peaceful this week. My last 2, you're familiar with.
How can I dispute something?
One of these hurts And it has to be on the list because it will forever go down as one of the most infamous moments in college basketball history. We still talk about it today. Unfortunately, it is still the bane of many of our existence for some of us who are Wolverines fans. But one of the greatest moments is one of the worst moments in Michigan basketball history. You all know what it is. It's the Chris Webber timeout. Chris Webber calls timeout. There were no timeouts left. I don't want to talk about this anymore. That's my number 2.
Hold on. What is the category of this list?
It is the top 5.
But a great moment?
Yeah, it's one of the top 5.
Like, buzzer beater. Everybody rushes. Great. You made a time.
Not the greatest moment.
I mean,
one of.
It's top 3 to you.
Yeah.
Top 3, one of the top 3, one of the greatest moments in NCAA tournament history is a technical foul.
Okay, so I have to change my list to more. Okay, no, I'm sticking with it. Yes,
I mean,
it's historic. It's still discussed today. It's on every list.
There's no luster about that.
Absolutely. Sometimes great things aren't that lustery. Number 1.
Not a word.
Number 1. This is another moment that actually at that moment in time, I was disappointed because I actually wanted them to win this game and they lost. And it goes down to a moment that everybody knows is infamous because no one likes this team. They are a team and everybody has one in every sport. People don't like the Yankees. People don't like the Bulls. And in college basketball, people don't like the Duke Blue Devils. Unfortunately, I was watching this game. I hated it. I didn't like this guy. Folks around here might have liked him. I don't know. He played for your Detroit Pistons. But I couldn't stand him. Couldn't stand him in the NBA. Couldn't stand him in college. But he hit this shot. Christian Laettner, full court pass, catches the ball, shoots a turnaround in the 1992 East Regional Final to beat the Kentucky Wildcats. I hate Christian Laettner. But this goes down as number 1 on many people's list. Full court pass, Blue Devils.
All right, now that that's over, let's go into the association.
See that? Disrespect. That's the great. You debate that's not the greatest moment of all time.
It was weak, bro. Like you went real safe on that.
Every week. That's
super
I always
safe.
I don't even know what a dangerous top 5 list is. I don't even know what that looks like.
Like you went super
You're always
safe.
claiming I go say it. I don't know. What's a dangerous top 5?
Like
do you have an example?
My list.
That wasn't dangerous.
My list.
Bring a dangerous list next week. And give me a good example of a dangerous list.
You know how I know my list be good? Because you rip them to shreds. That's how I know it's good.
No,
good. It creates great content.
No, good.
I was literally
good list.
Checking my horoscope as you go through this list, man.
Listen, good lists.
I'm a Cancer.
Sometimes mean that
I'm emotional.
When you can't debate the list,
supposed to have a good day
that's a great list. When you can't debate it, that's a great list, sir. That's
my lucky number is 7. On to the association. Shout out to Joe for his list. Yeah. That's why I love doing this. I love having a camera here just to catch all that too. Like, you good, bro?
You said on to
the association. We had who you want to do first? You want to do MVP or Rookie of the Year? Who you got?
MVP.
MVP.
I know who my answer is for the Rookie of the Year. I just can't think of his name right now.
Yikes.
What's going on?
All right. Well, Giannis versus Harden is the main 2 guys. Paul George kind of sneaked himself in there. You can add Steph Curry in the beginning of the year, but right now it's down to these 2 guys. They played each other this week. Wasn't the greatest game in the world.
It wasn't.
Bucks ended up winning.
Yeah.
But an interesting wrinkle happened. Harden is campaigning for his second MVP to be back-to-back MVP. Giannis did an interview with Woj talking about, he should be MVP. Where do you stand right now? You throwing your ballot today. Who do you punch? MVP.
I don't want to.
I know who I'm picking.
I don't want to. Harden.
That sounds like it hurted to come out.
Oh my God.
That sounds like it was like, geez, it sounds really painful.
Yeah, so it's Harden. It's Harden. It's Harden. So Giannis is right there, above 60% shooting from the field. Number 1 team in the NBA right now. Oh man, I mean, they play great team defense. Everything he does inside the 3-point line is beautiful. He can dominate the game. Rebounds. And defensively, he's okay. He's pretty good. Offensively, he's a killer. But listen, man, James, I'm sorry. Regular season award, this guy is unbelievable and dang near unstoppable offensively. So I got to go with him. All the 30-point games, the 50-point games, the 60-point games. Chris Paul goes down. They start out the season rough. They're back in the driver's seat, probably at the 3 seed. He carried this team, and he's not dropping off. He's done it the whole season. Not to say that Giannis hasn't, but what he's done with that team, with the adjustments they had to make with new players, with the fact that you had CP hurt, and the fact that he literally has put them on his back, more so to me than what Giannis has done with the Bucks. Giannis has carried that team, but he's had a lot of help. That team's playing well as a team. It's not a takeaway from him, but he has more help than Houston has. What CP has offered, it's been good, but what James has done to bring that team from out of playoff contention all the way up to where they are now.
True.
That's my guy. Giannis is right there, bro. If this was a season award, and we could say right now, but let's talk about it at the end of the year, I think my answer might change because I think Giannis might do something special in the playoffs. But just because it's a regular season award, what James Harden has done overall has just been unbelievable to me.
Okay. James Harden, streak, 30-point game.
30-point game streak.
Everybody got hurt. He had the ball out.
Yep.
Kept him afloat in the Western Conference.
Literally.
Harder conference.
Yep.
I'm going Giannis. It's really easy for me.
Why? Because it's the Bucks?
Because they have the best record in the NBA. Not only the Eastern Conference, the NBA. And they've been there. They stayed there.
They do. Yep.
They stayed there.
Yep.
This guy, you can say he has more help, but Harden has Chris Paul, who is a perennial all-star when he's not hurt. Leader of men, says Doc Rivers. And a breakout star, Clint Capella. He has great role players. I would say that Houston has more assets than the Bucks do, seeing as they made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. Minus 2 pieces, but they still have a lot of assets. The Bucks, they're made up of guys who came from different teams and different backgrounds who found a way to play together and now are playing for a guy that they believe to be one of the greatest players in the game right now in Giannis.
Okay.
Like they are all tied to the reason that they haven't relinquished the number 1 spot is because of Giannis. Like I don't have the numbers in front of me. I just try to Google, but you can say, and I'll go out on a limb here. You can say that he is our Shaquille O'Neal because he literally does everything inside this one area, right? He doesn't deviate outside that area. He knows what he does well.
Every once in a while, he hits a jump shot.
Every once in a while. But even when it's like games on the line, you know where he's going. He still gets the ball and he goes there. He gets there and he gets it done. For those facts that he hasn't relinquished, a la Boston, Philadelphia, Toronto, those upper echelon teams, he hasn't relinquished that hole. And they've had injuries on that team. They traded for Mirotic, he got hurt. Brogdon, he's got hurt. Traded for Paul Gasol, he's got hurt. Now DiFrancesco, he's out for the season. So you can't say these guys haven't had some.
But some of those injuries are recent.
Okay, but they still haven't fallen though. They haven't dropped down in the standings not one bit. When you got teams like Golden State and Denver going for 1 and 2 in their own conference, but the Bucks have not faltered not one time. And for that reason, and for the numbers that he's putting up and his consistency, I got to say Giannis is the guy. And Giannis was the guy in the beginning of the season, and now we're talking about the last 3 weeks of the season. Harden put himself in these conversations due to his stretch.
Right, but his stretch was another level stretch. It wasn't even like you could say he's still on a stretch. Like the stretch been a stretch for a minute.
Well,
It's like he like the first month of the season, right? They struggled. He wasn't playing well. Nobody was really playing well on that team.
Right.
They weren't in the playoff picture. But then, like, he didn't just turn it on, put himself in the conversation, and then kind of just plateau. It just kept going and going, and then injuries, and then like the way he's playing, to me, he should slow down.
Mhm.
Like there should be a drop off because it's almost like you could argue he's doing too much. Now, again, if we look at the playoffs, I think we might see some of that. I think,
Right.
unfortunately, we might find ourselves going really, again, y'all gonna mess this up.
Yeah.
Because of all the energy he's had to kind of exert during the regular
season award though.
But at the end, but to me, I'm not arguing with you because there's nothing about what you said that I can really refute. Giannis is right there. When I say right there, I mean you saw how painful that was for me. So it's just, for me, I think it's the level of having to carry the fact that they're in that harder conference. You had to climb over some teams, and yes, Milwaukee's been at the top. I don't want to take away from what Milwaukee has done. So this is going to sound like I am. At the end of the day, they also are in that division, in that conference, where some of those other teams have gone through their patches where it helped Milwaukee kind of continue to be consistent. The fact that the Milwaukee has the best record, I think, one, is surprising. It is. It's 100% surprising because we haven't heard of this before, and it's new. And so you got to give them their props. Giannis, you got to give him his props. They benefited from Philadelphia not surging. Boston struggled. Toronto's had their ups and downs. The conference is not as strong. I don't like that argument because they play who they play. Schedule is what it is. You are in the conference you're in.
Right.
But it's there. We got to acknowledge it. If you're just going player for player, James completes it for me because of the inside and outside game. Get to the free throw line, make the free throws. Literally have won some games for your squad this year, literally because of only what you do. Giannis, he is the glue. He's the everything for that team. He is the best player. He is clearly the most valuable player for that squad. And if you take him off that squad, they are 8th seed at best. At the end of the day, it's hard.
So I compared them. So Shaq's 99-2000 season MVP, he averaged 29, 13, and 3.
Okay.
Giannis is, so remember that, 29, 13, and 3.
Yep.
Giannis is doing 27, 12, and 6.
Okay. All right, so he's got the assist game is up, right? He's 3 more assists.
Right.
A little less on the rebounds. A little less on the points.
Yeah.
Right. And then 12. So okay. So he's 1 less on the rebound. So he's right there.
Yeah.
Which I can now do me a favor. Can you compare Harden this year, Harden last year? Sure. Let's do those comparisons because that's MVP last year, right?
Yep.
So let's look at what he's done this year. And then I don't know if it would necessarily say we're either one of us is right or wrong. It's an interesting comparison just to see.
Usually guys that win the MVP, you ever notice like their following year they have a better year? Like statistically.
That's true.
Like I remember that happened with Steph.
Yep.
And that happened with Nash's MVP.
Yep.
So they kind of couldn't take it away from him because he kept getting better year after year. So without even looking it up, I'm pretty sure his stats are better. But let me get all the way.
Yeah, I think it's like you can't argue it. I think at the end of the day, Giannis is definitely where he is for a reason. And it's going to be fun. I can't wait to see how this plays out in the playoffs because I'll say this now and wait until we get to it, but I don't know if I'm ready to say the Bucks are the favorite even. And they're the best team in the league, record-wise. Record-wise. They're the best team in the league. So
right now he's averaging 36, 7 and 6. 7 assists, 6 rebounds.
Okay.
Last year he averaged 36, 7-6.
So he didn't even get better technically. So I don't know. This is probably one of the hardest ones in a while to me to debate. Like if he doesn't drop off, then I think he gets it statistically. And then the getting better, he didn't statistically get better.
I'm sorry, that was wrong.
Impact. Okay.
So right now he's 36. 7 assists, 5 assists. 7 assists, 6 rebounds. Last year he was 30.
Oh God.
8 assists, 5 rebounds.
Bro.
So he's up his points.
He's up his points by 6
He's
points
up his
a game.
assists, and he's down 1 rebound.
Yeah, I gotta get to it. Yeah, I mean, to your point, they get better, right?
Yeah.
Now, if let's say same team, they have been riding top 3 all year and all that, I'd probably give it to Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
But that's those same numbers, well, not same, but 6 points more a game. And look at what that 6 points means.
Mm-hmm.
It really means the reason they're probably a 3 or 4 seed right now is because of him.
It's all because of him.
And to me,
the reason they're a playoff team is because of him.
That's what does it for me.
Nah, but I think Giannis's dominance on doing one thing offensively,
on only being able to shoot.
He can pass, and he's a great defender, which you can't say about James Harden.
That's true. That's the knock on his game.
His overall game, and then just his ascension.
Okay.
On being on that plateau and putting his team in a position where they haven't waffled all year.
Right.
I think gives him the edge because he's been in the conversation all year. James came in through the middle of the year, through that All-Star break, where he was averaging 40. No, he was averaging.
Christmas.
Nah.
Because he's going 30 a game for like 40 games.
A month. Like a month and a half. Like not like
December,
the whole
January.
season. Not the whole season.
Let's see, starting October. He was doing December, January, he's turned it on.
And now Chris Paul is back and it came down. It's because they got to play regular basketball. They got to get used to playing regular basketball.
Right.
Now, is he still putting up video game numbers every once in a while? Oh, most definitely. But they're still losing by 15 when they play the Bucks.
He's averaging.
And they're still losing games they're supposed to win. The Bucks are winning games they're supposed to win.
So I
usually the best guy on the best team that year gets the edge.
We could naturally, I think, turn this into a nice
Oh yeah, most definitely. We can go for 20 more minutes saying the same things back and forth.
Yeah,
but
I think it's a matter of opinion.
Let me put it like this then to you. Who do you think will get it if you got to put your money on?
If I had to bet, I think Giannis is going to get it.
Thank you.
That doesn't.
All right, so we can talk.
Wait a minute. Wait. You just took that as I just validated you, and that's not what that was. Let's be clear. My pick is Harden.
Listen, Jesse, because all the all the charges were dropped don't mean you didn't do it. All right.
Wow. What a night. This is interesting. What a way to go. Okay. All right. You really ran with that. Okay. The next time you ever ask me a question like that again, you're not getting an answer I want you to know. I've been tricked once, and that's moving on.
Rookie of the year.
I said mine first. Who's your rookie of the year? I said my MVP first.
Trae Young. I think Trae Young is the rookie of the year. Between him and Luka, I think Aiden all year. Like he was a basketball player. But I think Trae Young, stats wise and just watching him.
I agree with you. But it's for different reasons.
Okay.
So one thing I agree is evolution. What he's starting to do. Sports early was getting killing him. It just like I don't never see him, so I don't know. But for him to come in and do what he did, it was like, no, he didn't come in and just be a good international player. This dude's dominating. But I just think lately it was like, man, this kid's gonna fizzle out of Oklahoma. Like you were a great shooter, but they're about to be right about you. All you can do is shoot.
Yeah, he found his niche.
He found his niche.
He can pass too.
Yes, it's good. So I think the recency effects was gonna put him over, and that's why I agree with you, because lately is that the guy from Miami?
That's the dude that tried to jump over the Wright brother plane during the dunk contest.
Hey.
So that pair, they're trying to say they knew, duo. I don't see it, but Luka and Porzingis together once they get healthy,
I can't wait.
That's gonna be.
I can't wait.
That's gonna be real nasty.
I'm gonna tell you one other thing I'm really hoping for, and it's probably not gonna happen, but I can't believe I'm even saying this, but I was talking to my son about it. I'm actually hoping. I think it would be cool to see the Knicks get Zion and Kyrie and KD go to New York.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
As reported first right here.
That's if that happens, bro. And then they also have Dennis Johnson Jr.
Yeah.
That's gonna be stupid.
Yeah.
Dennis Smith Jr. That's gonna be
the old point guard from New York got traded.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep him there, and then like.
And you can build around.
You can't not take Kyrie if you want to.
I mean, of course.
You gotta be back.
Move him to the 2. I think it would be interesting to see the Knicks.
Early. I really want Kyrie to go to LA. I think he will. That way, they can the same team. Out of that, 16 games, and you still had Kyrie with those guys. I think they still stay afloat in that 7-8 range, right? They're not 4 when he got hurt, but they still stay afloat because Kyrie's still running the show with some of those guys, and he gets the automatic.
Listen to LeBron.
But Kyrie's more their generation, right? And he run a ring with LeBron. So if you go kind of the whole roster to try to get a superstar, you can sit back and wait for Ingram.
Great story. Sounds good.
Hopefully you can get Clay. You gotta wait for. I mean, KD's not going there. I wouldn't spend my cap money on Jimmy Butler, Kemba Walker, or any of these secondary guys. I agree. I would wait for Anthony Davis.
And I'm sorry, Clay's not going there either because he's the guy that's going to get paid by Golden State.
Those are 2 guys I would strongly suggest you go after.
Well, listen.
Kyrie, because
if you get Kyrie and Clay, that's a different. We're having a different conversation. If Kyrie goes to the Lakers and it's just Kyrie and LeBron, yes, you're waiting another season for AD. To me, I don't want to watch that. Sorry, I don't want. It's a great story. They're back together again, this and that. But I don't even think they do the same things that they did in Cleveland, bro. I'm sorry. They're a 6 seed. They're a 5 seed.
Oh man.
Because to me, Kyrie's not that. He's not that.
Oh, we're not that show.
Well, I mean, we're looking at it.
We're not that.
He's not the glue guy.
We're not that show.
Come on, we're looking at Boston right now. He's not the glue guy.
I think
he's not to bring the young fellas together, guy. It ain't working.
And LeBron hasn't shown a particular acumen of getting through to the young guys either.
Why do we?
So why not both of us get together and help stir these young guys in the right direction?
2 guys that aren't good at it and be good at it.
Trey Brandon Ingram, he's probably Kuzma's on board. Lonzo's on board. It's probably just Ingram that's a butthead in this scenario. Hart's on board. Those core guys, they're on board with Kyrie, LeBron, Kuzma, and then those vets. Tyson Chandler said he wants to do another year. I'm pretty sure Lance will re-up for 1 more year. Don't know about Rondo, but you can get some stuff out of that. But still keep that max spot open for Anthony Davis in 2020.
I don't know. I think the scenario for 2020 works. I see that benefit, and I think that gives them a great chance for LeBron to get one before he calls it quits in 2020. I just don't know if I want to see 2019 with LeBron and Kyrie and the other guys. And because to me, it's not even Cleveland again.
I'm not saying it's Cleveland.
No, I know you're not. I'm trying to compare, like, what does that look like? And we've seen that before where it was, there was Kevin Love, right? So there's a third. Kuzma's your third, right? I just don't know in the West. I don't know what that
formula works.
I feel like the media attention to that is what's the story more than basketball. I don't know that they win anything. Do they win in 2 years if you add AD to that and you got Lonzo and Kuzma? And we're assuming Lonzo is going to become a good player because he's not that good now.
You don't pick up his option.
Good. You shouldn't lose Lonzo. You shouldn't because he hasn't proven it. But I mean, okay, so you got Kuz, AD, Bron, Kyrie, And the way the Western Conference looks at that time, they're probably in a good position to win a championship. Very good.
Yeah.
Because Kuzma will at that point probably be going into his prime.
And Golden State's hurt because KD left.
KD's gone, and it's just Steph and Clay. And probably y'all can afford to keep Draymond, but that's not the same team anymore because Iguodala can't keep doing it.
Right.
So I think that's a different team. So I think it's prime for LA to take it, and for the criticism of you wore the purple and gold and didn't get a ring to go away, and he can now do something else, and y'all maybe never stop hating on the guy. But I don't know if I think next year, if that's what happens, it's more drama because of the media spin on the story of they're together again than it is on the basketball piece.
I think it helps both sides. All right, let me probably put a ball in. You gotta make that run. So next week, I did have. Are you excited to see a playoff without LeBron James? So we can tackle that next week.
Yeah, we can tackle that next week, or I can answer it now.
We can tackle that next week.
Okay, short answer. Like you know.
And we can flesh that out.
It's not even a yes or a no. I can tell you that.
When we come back, we'll be into the Elite Eight or Final Four.
Next week we'll be in the Final Four.